Oh, hello everyone! Oh, it's so good to see you. Oh my gosh. Eric and I, we went down to town this evening and we got my sisters so many gifts. You know, all of them have birthdays a little bit farther apart, but we thought it might be good to get them ahead of time. How many siblings do you have? I have quite a few, all sisters. Oh, but we're winding down for the night, and all the servants are getting the castle ready to go to bed. So I thought maybe we could read a story together. Flounder and I used to read bedtime stories together, but I only get to visit him sometimes now that he lives in the ocean and I live in Prince Eric's castle. So I thought we could share a story about my friend, Jasmine. Would you like to hear it? The story is called The Desert Race. Jasmine and Aladdin were strolling across the palace grounds one evening when Sultan ran out on the balcony. "Drat!" the Sultan cried. "Oh, drat, drat, drat! That dratted desert race!" Jasmine was surprised. Usually her father loved the desert race. Every year the best riders from Agrabah competed against those of the neighboring kingdom of Zagreba. The fastest horse and rider were awarded the prize Golden Palm trophy. That sounds like so much fun. Do you guys ever have races? We used to have races when I lived under the ocean. You could see who could swim the fastest. You know, I won a lot of the time. I'm a pretty fast swimmer. "What's the matter, father?" Jasmine asked. The Sultan shook his head sadly. "I just heard that Prince Faiz will be riding for Zagreba again. His horse is so fast, he's won the race the last 3 years in a row." Wow, he must be really fast then. "I have an idea, father," Jasmine said eagerly. "I could ride Midnight in the desert race this year. He's the fastest horse in Agrabah." "Oh, dear me, no," the Sultan said, looking shocked at the very suggestion. "The desert race can be dangerous. I won't have my daughter risking her neck like that." "What if I ride Midnight in the race?" Aladdin spoke up. The Sultan's face brightened immediately. "What a splendid idea! You'll have such fun, my boy." Oh, doesn't Jasmine look so pretty? I like her gold dress. It's very pretty. And that must be the horse that Aladdin's gonna ride. You know, I've gotten to ride horses now that I have legs. They can go pretty fast too. The next day, Aladdin and Jasmine went to the stables. As soon as Aladdin was on Midnight, the horse threw him. Nobody but Jasmine had ever ridden him. "Let me help," said the princess. Midnight gave her no trouble, as usual. The horse was ready to go. Aladdin swung onto Midnight's back, but the horse still didn't want to cooperate. He kicked up his heels and sent Aladdin flying. Oh my gosh, that's too funny. Well, maybe Jasmine should just ride Midnight, because Midnight doesn't really seem to want to have Aladdin riding him. What do you think? Aladdin brushed himself off. "Here, let me try," Jasmine said. She climbed easily onto the saddle. Midnight happily carried her around the stable yard, doing everything that she asked. "Sorry," Jasmine told Aladdin. "I guess Midnight is a one-person horse." "Now what are we supposed to do to win that trophy back?" the Sultan asked. "Let me ride in the race, father," Jasmine urged. The Sultan didn't seem to hear her. "Perhaps we can find Aladdin another fast horse." He didn't look helpful, though. "Don't worry," Aladdin said. "I'll think of something." See, there he is throwing Aladdin off the... Oh my gosh. And there Sultan is not listening to Jasmine. I really think that she would be the fastest racer in Agrabah and have the best chance of winning, don't you? The day of the race arrived. Riders from Zagreba paraded into Agrabah. Faiz rode in his impressive white stallion, Desert Warrior. That's quite the name. "I don't know why we bothered to bring the Golden Palm trophy," Faiz announced haughtily. "We'll only have to carry it back to Zagreba later." Fans from both kingdoms gathered to watch the race. Soon the riders took their places in the starting line. The Sultan looked at Aladdin. "What an odd-looking horse that boy is riding." I wonder why I've never seen it before. But he didn't have time to worry about that. Now where is Jasmine, he wondered. It's time to start the race. The princess was nowhere to be found. All the racers all lined up. Wait a minute. I think I might recognize that racer. Who do you think that racer could be? Very mysterious. We can't wait any longer, I suppose. The Sultan raised a flag to signal the start of the race. 1, 2, 3, and they're off! The riders galloped into the desert. The black horse with the mysterious veiled rider took the lead right away. As soon as they were out of the view of the palace, the rider threw off the veil, and it was Jasmine. I knew she looked familiar. I do hate going against Father's wishes, she whispered to Midnight, but I just have to prove that we were the fastest. Aladdin was curious about the rider and the black horse. Jasmine, he gasped when he saw her. See, even Aladdin was surprised that it was Jasmine. Well, it's important to listen to your parents. I think it was also important for Jasmine to prove that she was just as capable of rider as all the others. Just then, his horse spotted the cool, inviting water of the oasis. Now that's more like it, exclaimed the horse. Do horses talk? I don't think they do. Except the horse was actually the genie. He jumped into the water and took the shape of a seahorse. Hey, this wasn't part of the plan, Aladdin cried. Don't worry, Owl, the genie said. We'll catch up. Gotta stay hydrated, you know. On land, Jasmine and Midnight galloped off without a backward glance. Faiz and Desert Warrior were starting to catch up. They were shocked when they saw the princess. Faiz didn't want to lose her. Jasmine urged Midnight on, but the other horse was very fast. Finally, Desert Warrior pulled ahead. Give up now, Faiz yelled. That trophy will always belong to Sagraba, but Midnight wasn't finished yet. He surged forward again and passed Desert Warrior. Not so fast, Jasmine yelled to Faiz with a laugh. That trophy is in Agrabah, and that's where it's going to stay. Look, there Genie is. He turned into a seahorse. That's so silly. Doesn't look like any of the seahorses I've seen in the ocean. Do you think Jasmine is going to win? Oh, I really hope so. Faiz and Warrior stayed on Midnight's heels until the horses had to jump a ditch that crossed the path. Midnight sailed over it easily, but Warrior skidded to a stop. With the other team out of the running, it seemed there was nothing to keep Jasmine and Midnight from winning. But then, the princess heard the sound of hoofbeats close behind her. What? She cried. It was Aladdin! Jasmine didn't even know he was still in the race. Soon Aladdin and his mystery horse had caught up, and he and Jasmine were fighting for the lead. Jasmine was glad that the trophy would stay in Agrabah no matter which one of them won. But she really wanted to prove that Midnight was the fastest horse in the two kingdoms, so she urged him on. The two horses were neck and neck as they neared the finish line. First, Midnight pulled ahead a little bit, then Aladdin's horse did. But neither of them could keep the lead, and so the two horses crossed the finish line at the same time. There Faiz as he fell off his horse. Well, I hope he's okay. And there they are, Aladdin and Jasmine and Genie all won the race. Well, that's so exciting that they get to keep the trophy in Agrabah. As soon as Midnight slowed to a stop, Jasmine jumped off, gave her tired horse a hug, and led him to the water trough. And then she walked over to Aladdin. Congratulations, he said. Same to you, Jasmine replied. But where in the world did you find such a fast horse? I think we all know where he found such a fast horse, right? Aladdin looked at his horse. Then he looked at his feet. He didn't seem to know what to say. Surprise! The genie cried, transforming back into his usual form. Jasmine gasped. Genie, that was you? Sorry, princess, the genie said, winking. We were just horsing around. Oh, Genie is so funny, isn't he? Aladdin grinned sheepishly. It was my idea. I couldn't bear the thought of Zagreba winning again this year. Oh my gosh, Genie is so silly. Do you know anyone as silly as Genie? I think I might know one snowman that's just as silly as Genie. He's friends with my friends Elsa and Anna. Do you know who I'm talking about? Olaf, yeah. He's so silly, isn't he? Oh dear, the Sultan said. The rules state that it must be a horse and rider team, not a genie and rider team. Then he smiled, and that means Jasmine and Midnight are the winners. Jasmine changed into a new outfit. The award ceremony, she patted Midnight. Jasmine had always known her horse was fast, but she could never imagine that she would beat Genie. Oh my gosh. What a happy ending. And there she is in her pretty gold dress again. Oh, so pretty. What a good story that was. What was your favorite part? Oh, I liked that part too. Oh, well, I better go get ready for bed. Well, I hope you guys all have a fantastic night. Thank you for reading with me. Goodbye.